Alright, hello everyone. My name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And last night at 3:30 in the morning I got bombarded with messages that High Speedroid Corkscrewer had batted into the game. Yay. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this level increase and see what it's all about. So Arc 5 is getting raised to level 40. That means 2 new cards for every character. Let's see what those cards are. Originally, I assumed Yuya would get a third copy of Reform Palace Skullcrabat Joker, but since that's been added to a UR ranked ticket, I assume not. Let's see what we got. Yuya is getting Time Star Magician. Time Star Magician is a card that Yuya has used in the past. It requires 2 level 4 Magician Pendulum monsters. Must first be Xyz summoned with the above Xyz materials. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, add to your hand 1 Dark Spellcaster monster from your deck, graveyard, or face up from your extra deck. Once per turn, if a Pendulum monster card in your monster zone or a Pendulum zone would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send 1 Spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. This card can search Exodia the Forbidden One, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, this card's fine. What would you make this with? We don't have the Black Fang Magician, Purple Poison Magician cards yet, so probably... Oh, Harmonizing Magician. Harmonizing Magician is in the game. Alright, okay. Yeah, so they had to release Time Star so that Harmonizing Magician had an Xyz target. Makes sense. Next up for Yuri, we get a SRUR ticket. Wow. That's sad. And then also Battle Royal Mode joining. Interesting. This appears to be artwork of Obelisk Force invading. I've never seen this card before. Continuous spell. Activate this card by targeting 1 effect monster on the field. The first 2 times that monster will be destroyed by battle, each turn is not destroyed. When it is destroyed by battle, the player that destroyed it gains 2,000 life points. If the turn player's opponent takes battle or effect damage, activate this effect, that opponent can apply the following effect. Special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand or deck but lose 2,000 life points. Okay. I don't think you would ever play this in any deck, but it's cool that we have the card, I guess. Yuto. The Phantom Knights of Shadow Vale. We already have 2 of these, I guess. Target 1 face-up monster you control. It gains 300 attack and defense. When an opponent's monster declares directed attack while this card is in your graveyard, special summon it as a normal monster. If summoned this way, banish it when it leaves the field. Sure. And then a second copy of the Phantom Knights of Wrong Magnet Ring. When an opponent declares an attack, negate that attack, then special summon this card as an effect monster. During either player's turn, you can send this card and 1 face-up card you control to the graveyard, either a Phantom Knights monster or Phantom Knights continuous spell or trap, to draw 2 cards. Yeah. I don't think either of these cards will see play. They haven't seen play in the past, so whatever. Alright, you go. We get High Speedroid Cork Shooter. This is a level 3 tuner synchro monster. If this card is synchro summoned, you can activate 1 of these effects. Add 1 Speedroid spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Or if all the materials that were used for this synchro summon of this card were Speedroid monsters, and all of them are in your graveyard, special summon all of them. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except wind monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, High Speedroid Cork Shooter, what you do with this. You summon Terror Top, then you summon Takatomborg. Takatomborg tribute itself, special summon Red Eye Dice. Red Eye Dice change Terror Top to level 2, synchro with Takatomborg and... synchro with Red Eye Dice and Terror Top into High Speedroid Cork Shooter. High Speedroid Cork Shooter revives both monsters. Red Eye Dice is not once per turn. Changes the Terror Top to level 4. Synchro into High Speedroid Hagoida. Boom, you have Crystal Wing. And then you get to banish Den and Duke from your graveyard. Revive Speedroid Cork Shooter. That will let you revive Hagoida from the graveyard since you control a tuner. Synchro again. Second Crystal Wing. We don't have a second Crystal Wing. And we don't have another good level 8 that we could make. So, I don't know. Wind Witch is still better, is the problem. If they gave us a second Crystal Wing, that'd be one thing, but they're not going to. So, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this card, to be honest. You could... I guess the intention is for you to use... Yeah, I don't know. You could use it to make Clearwing, but no, that doesn't help you at all, because you could just make Clearwing with a 1 and a 6 anyway. So yeah, this without a second level 8 that's good to make going first, this card does not do anything. And then Speedroid Duplicates, banish 1 wind monster from your graveyard, target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to your hand. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 2 or higher Speedroid monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster that is a tuner. This card is not treated as a trap. You can only use this effect once per duel. Okay, so Speedroid Duplicate is an interesting card. You can't really use it without Ultra Hound. Ultra Hound is what mills it. But, I mean, it's a compulsory evacuation device, which is good enough in Duel Links. I guess the main reason that they're giving this to us is so that you can use High Speedroid Cork Shooter's first effect to search it. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're saying, okay, well, you can't use this card to make Crystal Wing twice. So instead, here you go. You can use this to search a trap card that will bounce a card. But then you're not reviving anything. So you just left with this level 3 on the board. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what they expect us to do with this. Zuzu. Sombel the Star Bonder. Okay. Pendulum Scale 7. If you have a Pendulum monster card with the same level as this card in your other Pendulum zone, you can destroy the other card in your Pendulum zone, and if you do, special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's an interesting idea, I guess. I assume this is supposed to combine with, like, Rizabel or the other cards that are in its archetype, and in its story. If a monster is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand with the same level as this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So you play a bunch of level 3s? What level 3s are you playing? Well, it does say the same level as this card, so I assume that you're, like, combining it with Rizabel, which I think can adjust cards' levels. Weird. Whatever. Some weird Xyz options, I guess. Play around with this. This looks like it could be interesting. And then a second Ostinato. That's fantastic. I'm sure everyone who is playing Melodious wants a second Ostinato, so cool. Selena, we did not get Lunalight Perfume. That's weird. That's the only Lunalight card we were missing. What is this? Silent Wolf Kalupo. Level 4, Beast Warrior. This is furry artwork. Why did they draw this anthropomorphic wolf in a suit? Okay. If this card is normal or special summon, equip the top card of your deck to this card as a face-down equipped spell that gives it 500 attack points. During the end phase, your opponent calls the original type of that equipped card, monster, spell, or trap. If they called it right, send this card to the graveyard. If they called it wrong, discard 1 card from your opponent's hand. And if you do, return this card to the hand. What? So it never stays on the board? I mean, I guess it bounces during the end phase, so maybe you're supposed to special summon this during your opponent's turn? It seems terrible. Why would you ever play this? Okay. Lulu Obsidian, no new Liarless cards. I don't think there are any Liarless cards for her to get, so that's fine. Slower Swallow. It's a level 1 winged beast. I'm sure that's fine. If 2 or more monsters with the same level are on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Slower Swallow once per turn this way. You can tribute this card, draw 2 cards instead of 1 for your normal draw during your next draw phase. That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah, sure. A level 1 that can special summon itself, you know. Some Liarless decks would want that. It's as good a support as we could get with the limitations of the card pool. Rin. 2 more copies of Speedroid Duplicate. Okay. That's interesting. Having Speedroid Duplicate at 3 is pretty good. Now you can more consistently open it. But I mean, it's still just really good for Winwitch. I don't know that you would play this in Speedroids. Yeah. Gong Strong. 2 more copies of Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball. That's hilarious. Now you can actually, like, build your deck around Battle Ball. Amazing. I'm sure that's... Genuinely, I'm sure that's what every Super Heavy Samurai player was waiting for, because this is the funniest card in the deck. So cool. Silvio, 2 more copies of Comic Relief. Again, same thing. I'm sure this is what every Abyss Actor player was waiting for, other than the Link monsters, because it literally just gives you the ability to steal monsters. And that's funny. So, good support. Declan. A second copy of High King Genghis, which is more spell and trap negates. Pretty good. And then 1 copy of Triple D Wave High King Caesar, which is limited to 1. This card is very, very good. Requires 2 level 6 Fiend monsters. When a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster. As a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. Then you can make 1 other double D monster you control and this card gain 1800 attack points until the end of the turn. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Dark Contact card from your deck to your hand. So this is not once per turn. So you can essentially stop your opponent from using a spell, trap, or monster effect that includes an effect that special summons a monster. Even if it would special summon a monster to your opponent's side of the field, you can just negate it and destroy the card twice. That is just absurd. It is so hard to play around this card. This card sees play in modern decks because Fiendsmith is very good at making 2 level 6s. Okay. Sora. SR tickets and Battle Royal mode joining. Great. Shea Obsidian. 2 copies of Raptor's Gust, which is a counter trap card. When a spell or trap is activated while you control a Raid Raptor card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. Excellent. Raid Raptors needed some interaction. This is a good card. And considering that they can easily get more monsters with their skill, having some good spells and traps they can play is fantastic. And lastly, Dennis. Same thing. 1 SRUR choice ticket and Battle Royal mode joining. Okay, so you would never play this card at 1, so we're getting them at 3. That's great. And then the 3 fusion characters got nothing. Unfortunate. Rip to LG, who was hoping for Plush Fire and Monkey Board. But otherwise, I think the clear winner is DDD. And then Super Heavy Samurai and Abyss Actors didn't, like, they have a low ceiling, so any good support was going to make it better for them, so they both won as well. Same with Melodious, like, getting a second copy of Ostinato was just crazy. But yeah, Phantom Knights, Protoplants, Speedroids, and Pendulums didn't get much of anything. Overall, very mid. Well, there you go. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.